Hey, what up? It's Owen from Real Social Dynamics. Welcome to a fine morning in Phoenix, Arizona, right outside of Old Town Scottsdale, where we ran a kick-ass program last night. And what I want to talk to you about this morning is the distinction between the logical part of your mind that gets things done, produces results, makes money, and fits into society, and the fuck-up emotional part of your brain that just lets you go wild, have fun. It's really a lot more primitive, and ultimately, it's the part of your mind that attracts women. And this is a very, very pressing topic for guys, because what you discover when you're trying to meet girls is that the part of your brain that makes you a better provider, that you thought was this amazing, beautiful part of you, is actually fucking you up. And the reason it's fucking up your shit is because you think that girls actually care that, logically speaking, you're a good option. Well, I've got news for you. Brrr.
How are you? Woo!
I need to kiss you. You. Have you ever kissed each other?
Yes.
Let me ask you a question, okay? I'm gonna start this off with a pop quiz. What do you think is a better way to attract women? Option A, hi there, my name's Owen. I run an 8-figure global business. I'm extremely responsible. I'm responsible for the livelihoods of over 100 staff. I take my role very seriously. I went to a top school in my country. I read a lot of books. I have a lot of things that I own. I live in a great house. And I would like to take you out to a nice restaurant and show you the amazing life that I've built, because I think you're a very beautiful woman. Okay, that's option A. Do you think that girls will respond to that? Now, let's look at option B. We're in Scottsdale, so we'll call it the horsey dance. Bam, 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 bam. Okay. Okay, let's keep doing it. All right. We're coming this way. I forgive you. Let's go. All that shit that you did that you thought was important for women, it was really important for you. And the reason is, from a woman's perspective, everything that you're doing is fucking compensation. Anything logical that you have going for you, she has disdain for that. And anything that is just fun, the implication behind it is that you're a high status guy, you don't need all that shit, and you're just having a good time. And this is why, you know, the stereotype of like the greasy guy who's trying to impress a girl with his Ferrari, and he's like, yo girl, come see my Ferrari. How does the girl interpret that? Well, I'll tell you right now, she interprets it as if basically you have no reproductive value, you're low status, and so you went and got this material object because your brain was able to kind of wrap itself around that, but you weren't actually an attractive guy. Now, the reason why that is because when you get high status, something changes in you, and this is what it is. Essentially, you start laughing and becoming silly and having fun because your brain gets loaded up with different neurotransmitters when you're fucking winning, okay? So, you know, imagine walking into a room where you have very low status, and imagine walking into a room where you have very high status. What's the difference in your behavior? In the low status room, you're sitting there thinking of how to impress people. You're thinking of how to offer more value in order to get on their good side. But when you have high status, you're not thinking that hard because you're not engaged in the logical part of your brain because you're just happy, okay? And so really what I want to show you today is how to get out of that logical part of your brain, which essentially is pure compensation. Before I even get into this, I want to make a couple qualifications. First of all, I think that if you don't make good money, at least enough money that you're very happy with, you're fucking up. I think that if you don't have a good home, a good nest, a good life, you know, all the things you want in life, you're fucking up. I'm not impressed by that. That shit doesn't impress me one bit if you don't have those things. I don't care if you fuck 9 million women. Unimpressed if you don't have a life that you love. But what I'm trying to say to you is that regardless of the fact that these things are important, they are not game, okay? They're not game. They're simply important to you. Are you learning more tonight?
Yeah.
Okay, so what are you gonna carry with you?
Well, Luke kind of told me like keep the friendly and cool friend, but like not trying to get something from it. Just like keep.
Yeah.
Going, like,
Are you getting more sets open tonight?
yeah, like, I mean, there's a lot of more options tonight.
Got it. Are you getting more open than usual?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And what have you changed to allow yourself to get open more than usual?
Carefree.
More carefree.
I was trying to bring the fun to the group instead of like.
Got it.
Fun.
Yes. Good. Do you feel what that feels like now?
Yeah.
Okay. And you can see the girls don't care about your accomplishments. They don't care about, your background. They just care about the emotion that you're bringing. That's it. Can I kiss you? Man?
Yes. Alright, the fact you're doing that upsets me.
I'm a nice guy. I'm from LA. How do you guys all know each other?
The fact you fucking did that.
Do you want to come with our group? We're cooler. You're very sexy, by the way.
Thank you.
Can I kiss you? I have to go.
Yes.
So the first distinction that I want to make for you is between the short-term mating strategy and the long-term mating strategy. And what I want to say, this is very counterintuitive, is that your brain is actually trying to feel out its environment at all times and say, what is the best way for this guy to reproduce? Option A, have like 80 kids that you never take care of. Most of them die. Most of them don't make it anywhere, but at least a few of them do, right? It's like the dandelion, just spread your seed everywhere. Option B is maybe you have like 3 or 5 kids, but you raise them really well and they go on to do great things because of the time, energy, and attentiveness that you put into those kids. So your brain's actually saying, which strategy should I use? Now, one part of your brain, if it says short-term mating strategy, it's like, look, do anything that you can just to have an awesome time. Just make yourself laugh, make yourself have fun, do whatever it takes to do that. Short-term, right? So whether that's drugs, booze, clowning, fucking off work, getting a job that's bullshit and not going anywhere, having idiot friends, clowning around, ignoring responsibilities. Your brain says, great. Why does it do that? Because your brain knows that women just want to have fun and it pumps them into state and it gets you laid. Now, the whole premise behind this is that you're supposed to do that till you're like 30 and then you're supposed to die, okay? Because basically you fucked off your whole life, but in like this amazing blaze of glory of your 20s, wow, right, it's fucking awesome. You did all this crazy shit, party, bang, bang, bang. Girls are loving it. Threesomes with you, orgies, totally different standard for you than a provider, right? And basically, all this fast sex and orgies, you spread your seed far and wide, you never live to raise them, you never live to see your own end of your life, but it worked, you reproduce. Now the other side of it is you're the provider guy. You say, hey, I'm not even gonna let myself get in a good mood unless all my ducks are in a row. Have you ever felt that? Like, have you ever felt like you're out trying to meet girls and you literally can't even get into a good mood until you've handled all your responsibilities? Like, there's almost this blocker in your brain. It's like, hey, don't get in a good mood. You haven't handled all your responsibilities. That's because your brain recognizes inherently that you're the long-term guy. You're the provider guy. So your brain won't even let you start having fun until you've gotten everything done. Then you can have some fun, right? You might have felt that before. So that being the case, your mind doesn't let you do things to fuck yourself off. Your mind is gearing everything towards long-term. Now, for me, what is my strategy? I have a bit of an in-between strategy. So I want to work most of the day towards my long-term goals. But after that, bam, I want to switch it up and I want to go into FUD mode. And one of my greatest skills, in my opinion at least, is the ability to go from being very logical, thinking about deep topics, to bam, having more fun than almost anybody that you'd see. So I want to be the very best that I can be at being logical, getting things done, producing results, and being responsible, but I want this other part of myself that bam, can switch gears. And this is really a beautiful thing because when you look at the guys who get into this rut of just short-term, they always hate their lives later because the problem in today's society with the short-term mating strategy is what? You don't die. I'd actually think about just fucking my life off. If by 30 I'd be dead and I didn't have to deal with the consequences. But in this society, you're kept alive even if you fucked up. And then you have the next 70 years if you live to 100 to reflect on the fact that you wasted your youth fucking around. So that being the case, what do I want to do? I want to train myself to find that in-between part. And if I can do that and learn how to switch, build the synaptic pathways in my brain to switch, I can experience the best of both worlds. Gotta get you opening more. I like that you're watching me, but let's get you opening more.
Yeah. I'm opening with sits and I'm keeping it calm, but I just need like something to really hook it. I don't know what you're doing to me.
Game comes from within. Okay?
Yeah.
You think you're gonna stay in this state and a line is gonna fix it?
What do you mean?
You gotta change your state. Don't look to the ground.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Got it?
Okay.
We're gonna get in some deep evolutionary psychology here, and I want to start off by painting some broad strokes and then zoning in on some really, really deep principles. So, a broad stroke right off the bat is that women tend to respond to you as a man when you're in something that I like to call state. Now, the word state is actually kind of a bad word because it's like this word that encompasses everything, right? Like you're in state. What does that even mean? It's sort of a catch-all term just for me saying that you're flowing, you're out of your head, you're sharing, you're not micro-monitoring and, worrying about people judging you. You're just in the zone, okay? It's a simple way of thinking about it. Please don't get caught up in it. Sometimes I find the idea of state actually messes guys up because they become afraid to approach a woman if they're not in state, which is not a good idea. You should always act, right? You hear my voice after a night out, it's off. Still do a video anyway, okay? If you're out of state, you still approach anyway. But regardless of that, when you're in state, that's when you tend to do the best of girls. Now, where this gets crazy is your state criteria. And this will be determined by whether or not your brain has adopted what I like to call a short-term mating strategy or a long-term mating strategy. And here's what it is. Your brain, it really doesn't care if you have a happy life or a long life. All that it cares about is that you reproduce. And this is an evolutionary concept where most people think that your DNA is there to serve you. Like your DNA, your genetic composition is there to meet your needs. But in fact, another way of looking at it is that your personality is actually what allows the DNA to go on. So some scientists will look at it like a rocket ship with booster rockets. And we like to think that the DNA is the booster rockets, right? Like the DNA is propelling our personality to go on into space. But what a lot of scientists say is that in reality, your personality is actually the booster rockets shooting the DNA into space. All that the DNA wants is your consciousness to move it forward into reproducing. It really doesn't care, and it's gonna trick you and lie to you and make you rationalize whatever it takes to get you to reproduce. So that being the case, your brain sort of analyzes, are you somebody who should have a short-term mating strategy and impregnate as many women as possible, but not raise the kids? Or should you have a long-term mating strategy where you work on yourself more so that you have more to do as a father, and maybe you raise 3 kids or 5 kids, but they do really well because you've taken great care of them. So look at the distinction there. Short-term strategy, have sex with everybody you can, even if you fuck your life off, like the party boy. But even if you don't raise most of the kids, who cares? Because you had so many kids that just statistically, at least some of them will survive. It's like a dandelion, just goes poof, shoots everywhere. Or are you gonna be the long-term mating strategy guy where you really take care of your life and then you invest in your kids? Now your brain will decide whether or not to leave you in state. Your brain will decide whether or not to allow you to go into state depending on if it thinks that you have a better shot with a long-term or a short-term mating strategy. Great shoes.
Hi.
Where are you coming from?
Canada.
What city? I'm from Canada.
Saskatchewan.
Where?
Saskatchewan.
Kidding, that's where my great-grandfather's from, Regina. He lived
How are you, Magic Man?
He lived in a sod house. Hi there.
Everyone lived in a sod house there.
I know.
Saskatchewan.
Yeah, I grew up in Ottawa.
You won!
I did, yeah.
I'm from Calgary!
My grandfather's from there. Who are you guys here with? How did you guys all meet each other?
We grad school together.
You guys are in grad school?
Yeah, we are.
I mean, I'm from Hollywood now, so I'm just used to like meeting crack whores. I'm intimidated.
Not even crack.
I'm intimidated.
No, text me for
Okay.
sure. 100% text me.
Okay.
I love you.
I love you too. Okay, what's your number?
Are you with any of the Canadians?
I am.
Hey, what's up,
This is my.
Canadian?
What's your Snap name?
I'm Canadian.
Are you really?
Yeah.
What is it? Okay.
I don't even.
Yeah.
You gotta show
That's
me.
cool.
Oh my God.
Good
You
to-
gotta show me.
Okay, kiss. Good to meet you.
Mwah.
Good night. So if it's short term, here's what your brain does. Let me describe it to you. Everything could be shit. Your whole life's in tatters. But what do you want to do? Party! I'm awesome. Why I'm awesome? Because I'm the shit, dog. Why are you the shit? Because I'm the shit. I'm awesome. I'm the fucking man. I'm a boss. I'm a boss. Why? Because Rick Ross said so. Boss, boss. Irrational. Irrational self-love. Narcissism. That kind of thing. Makes no sense, but all the guys that crush it with girls, they've got that. Okay, they feel great about themselves. That's where swagger comes from, woo, right? Swaggity, swaggity. Now, a long-term guy, he won't feel like that unless his brain sees that everything's all perfect. So it's like, okay, when my health is good, when my money's good, when everything's going perfectly in my life, my career's on the up and up, I've got a nice home to raise a kid, then I'll go into state. And then if you do all that, you get into a great mood, right? So hey, why not do that? But what I see happening, this is what's kind of funny, is that most guys, really the best guys, the guys who should be doing well with women, have this criteria in their mind where unless everything's going perfectly, if they go out to say a bar or a club, they don't even want to be there. Their brain's like, don't let him go in state. He could go work on his marketing. He could go study. Don't let him go in state. And so you yourself, maybe you've experienced this where you're working on your life and then you go out to a bar, you go out to a club, and you literally don't want to even approach anybody. You don't want to get in a good mood. And you're like, you know what? I'll be in a good mood when all my ducks are in a row. Stop thinking. Don't think. Thinking is the enemy. Stop. Thinking is the enemy.
It's not the thinking.
Stop.
It's my emotions.
No,
that
stop.
are really caught up in
Stop.
this.
Now look at me, okay? I'm going bald. Okay?
We both know you don't care about that. I'm going bald.
Why don't I care though? You have to block this out. Block it out. Relax. Relax your jaw. Smile. Smile. Let your tummy out. Push it out. Push it out. Push your tummy out. Okay. Give me a hug. Say present. Smile. Smile. Smile.
I don't want to smile.
Okay, give me a hug. Here you sound awesome. Why do you think that is? That's called stifling. You're stifled because you think you'll get in trouble if you do it here. So the girls see that, so it conveys low status, because if you're high status, you know you could yell and you know you could get away with it. So by default, the quiet voice signifies low status. Low voice.
Yeah.
Why do you feel like you can't talk loud here? Because you're afraid you'll get in trouble, which signifies lower status. Got it?
Yeah.
You get convinced that until you're healthy and wealthy and you have the nest and you're Mr. Perfect and you're the complete package, then you'll be ready. And so your brain will actually feed you these delusions. Now pay attention, because these are massive delusions, and here's what it is. Your brain will say to you, you know what, dude? Women like money. Women like a complete package. Women want me to be the man who's arrived. And until I'm that guy, it's not gonna work out. It's not gonna work out. Even though the bartender's getting laid, the weed dealer's getting laid, the club promoter's getting laid, the guy out just drunk on a vacation's getting laid. But you tell yourself you gotta be the complete fucking package to get laid. In certain ways, this is good, because your brain won't allow you to fuck up. It's actually a protection mechanism that your brain has where it says, don't go into state and start getting laid, because if you go in state for no reason and you start getting laid, you're probably not gonna take care of your kids. Because hey, if you're just sex, party, boom, 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 right? What's gonna happen? You're not gonna be motivated anymore. So your brain does it to protect you from getting laid before everything's going really well. It's actually a protection mechanism. But the problem with this is that in doing so, you put off meeting women maybe forever, because in today's modern society, it could be 45 before you have all your ducks in a row. You should be having fun now, getting results now, and moving forward. Now, how about the short-term mating strategy? What do you see with guys like that? In my experience, what I've seen is guys who will drink alcohol, take drugs, have sex with any girl they can, hot or not, because they're just the dandelion. You'll notice this with some naturals. Literally, they have sex with the hottest girls, ugliest girls, anybody. Doesn't even matter. These guys don't use condoms because inherently they want the girls to get pregnant. They take any amount of drugs, any amount of alcohol, because anything to keep the party going. They're in like that kind of high risk, boisterous, laddish type personality. Now, the women see this and they go, hey, he's a short-term mater. I can have his kid and make the long-term mater raise the kid. Because women have the double mating strategy. They have the guy who has the good sperm, that'll give a kid, that'll give them tons of kids, but they also have somebody to raise it. So they don't need you to give them sperm to trick you to think that it's your kid, right? Look this up in a book called Sperm Wars. Check it out. The idea being that so many men could be having sex with women that your penis actually shaped like a plunger to pull out other men's sperm. So women basically are just like, look, I'll have sex with the long-term guy, I'll have sex with the short-term guy, I'll probably have some kids from the short-term guy, some kids from the long-term guy. Who cares? Now your brain, what it's doing is analyzing the situation, and you've got to be honest with yourself about what it's doing. Are you getting into that awesome mode easily, or are you like, no, everything has to be perfect, everything's got to be good, otherwise I don't want to laugh, I don't want to have fun, I don't want to get laid, right? Examine if your brain's protecting you. Now here is what I would say. The best space to be in is being able to shift gears, because if you can actually get really serious and not get too cocky if things aren't going well, right? Taking life seriously, moving forward, making money, being healthy, taking care of yourself, building a nest. If you can do that for its own sake, and then combine that with when you're out, you just start having fun, oh, you are a powerful man, my friend. You are a powerful man indeed. You're gonna have a great time, because your life's gonna be the bomb. You're gonna get everything set up perfectly, but at the same time, what's gonna happen? You're gonna be able to go out and have fun. And this is what I've experienced even during financial recessions when my business starts doing badly. I'm like, shit, things are sucking right now. But the one thing that I can do is put myself in that great mood and get laid so that I can get back to work and actually feel relaxed. Why do you guys think I take the pressure off myself early? Why do you think?
So that you're not in your head so much.
Yeah, it's like the alpha male headspace. It's not like, right? It's just like, take it or leave it. I did eat Freckles. What's your name?
Ireland! Ireland!
Hug like this. We can't breathe because the kid will be so white it will get sunburned. This is my friend Luke. Luke. This is my friend Luke.
You're amazing. How are you? Why are you so fucking gorgeous? Christ, you're so gorgeous. I'm moving to natural. Look at it.
I try to like take so much action, it shuts off the thinking mind. So it's just like this like happy guy who's just like, right? And it's just like this man is here and that's it. What I'm saying to you here is recognize whether or not your brain is in a long-term or short-term mating strategy. And if you're having thoughts like, you know, I've got to have everything perfect before I can meet girls, dude, your brain is fucking with you. Your brain is literally rationalizing. Likewise, though, if you're like, my life is fucking awesome, I'm the party boy, I'm the shit, because I got a scarf, I got glasses, look at me, man boobies, beep, 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 beep. Girls like the man boobies, they like the bald head, I look like the dad, she has abandonment issues, boop, 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 doo, doo, boop, 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 doo, 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 boop, boop, right? If you're going into that mode, that's fun. If you're like, hey, I gotta be serious, I have to be responsible, have integrity, I have to live by my values, I have to meet my responsibilities, I've gotta work hard, I've gotta build a nest, I've gotta be healthy, I've gotta live a long time, I've gotta raise those kids. Both of those are good. But the question is, do you identify with one or do you identify with the other? Right. The truth is, guys all wanna figure out how to keep the fun going. I have a better question. How do you have fun in your life?
Yeah.
Yo,
like I would be
that's the fucking problem. Like look at even your body language right now. You know what I'm saying? Okay, you know what I'm saying, right? Because guys want to switch it on and off. What I found is the more that I make a decision to laugh in my regular life, and then I'm with my friends who are laughing in the grocery store, and then girls see it and we're like, hey, what's up? As opposed to, and then like, hey, which is fake as fuck. So what we're gonna do now is look at the shortfalls of both short-term and long-term mating strategy so that you can avoid both, and then we're gonna look at the strengths of it so that you can cultivate it within yourself. All right, now right off the bat, the short-term mater is doing anything to protect his precious state. If that means rationalizing, delusions, not taking responsibility, not handling business, avoiding anything to keep himself in that party mood, he's gonna do it. Now, these are guys that'll be dressed up in wacky clothes, kind of fun, carefree, and girls get into that vibe, right? It's like that surfer vibe, that artist vibe, where the girl just feels that guy is so in the moment, so free, and her mind is saying, hey, if I reproduce with him, I'll have little surfer artist, rapper babies that are gonna reproduce, and I'm gonna have lots of grandkids. So the girl goes for that. The problem is, of course, that when you're preserving your state at all costs, the rationalizations can completely implode your life in ways that you currently can't even begin to imagine. But you see, the flip side of it is a long-term mater who's always thinking about the future. He has no swag, he's not fun, he's too logical. And that being the case, what happens to him? In my experience, that guy doesn't get to enjoy life because he's always waiting until some better future. So each side has a cost, and ultimately, you've got to find a balance between the two. But really, is it that complicated? Is this really that big of a deal? All that I say that it is, that you're really trying to figure out, is how to be in a great carefree mood while still handling your life. But you see, the mind, the brain, it gets trained on certain mentalities or ways of doing things. And so you've got to train your brain at one point to be in a very logical mode and focused, but at another point just to be carefree and having fun. They call this work hard, play hard. And so as a man, these capacities that you hold dear, of building an amazing nest, of building a great life that a woman would appreciate someday, it might frustrate you that girls aren't responding to it, but understand that it's for you. So that being the case, we have to find the middle ground, and there's a part of your mind that's silly, primitive, primal, the mating part, and there's another part of your mind that's logical, the nest building part. And really the key is finding the ability to switch between the two. It's hard to do. It's hard to do, right? Like a lot of people, they can lift a heavy weight, but they can't do an endurance type of weight with a lot of reps. Some people can do endurance, but they can't lift a heavy weight. But when you have both, that's the sweet spot that you want to get into. That being the case, you've got to learn how to let go. Logic is like this. Playfulness is like this. And switching back and forth is the element of becoming really successful financially and in your life, but at the same time, crushing it in your game.
You got great moves, dude. Just be happy.
I know.
Be happy. I got a bit of a cup too. I'm a little chubby this year.
It's okay.
Touch it. Touch the move. Touch it. Feel it.
I
Feel the man move. Feel it. Feel it. Oh!
feel nice.
Do you like it?
Not as good as mine.
I love you. I hate you though.
Why? I'm in law school, so like I never really drink anymore.
I like that you're beautiful and that you're smart. In LA, I meet a lot of hot girls that are really dumb. I'm ready to take you back to LA. Are you ready?
Yeah.
What's your number?
All right, so what we're gonna do now is look at the two major skills that I'm gonna need you to cultivate if you wanna benefit from both the long-term mating lifestyle and the short-term mating lifestyle, and here's what it is. You call it the art of achievement and the art of appreciation. Now, the art of achievement, you can read a great book by Cal Newport called Deep Work, and this goes into the power of extended focus. Most people in society these days have a very dispersed focus. It comes from all these social media websites and this like micro content where you don't have to focus, you're changing the channel, you can't focus on anything. And when you actually make the decision to do deep work, to focus very deeply, what winds up happening is that you get a very, very powerful intellect in a particular topic that produces value for society and allows you to get paid very, very well. In addition to that, that same focus can be used for things like brushing your teeth, taking care of yourself, eating healthy, making sure that you use a condom when you have sex, meeting a great girl, whatever it is. All those responsible things that you should be doing. Now, on the flip side, you also have the art of appreciation, which is great for the short-term maters, right? They're very good at appreciating themselves. They're good at appreciating themselves if they haven't taken a shower, if they have holes in their teeth, if they're on drugs, and if everything's going wrong, they still appreciate themselves. Now, we can look at that as bad, but I look at that as something to model. How are they doing it? Well, the long-term mater, their brain is very much linear, right? Very logical, linear, straight point A to point B. Whereas the short-term mater, they're very free associative. So see, one skill set is like the Cal Newport, the deep work, whereas the other skill set is almost like improv class, floating around, being present, enjoying the moment, finding good things about yourself. Now, the major skill is actually having cultivated both and having built synaptic pathways in between those two parts of your brain so that you can access both parts of them. When you can do that, what you can do is you can go to work, hustle, make money, and provide for you and your loved ones an incredible life. But then when you go out that night, you can meet a girl within 2 seconds, just like the artist, the surfer, the musician, the drug dealer, the bartender, the promoter, the narcissist, random guy that lives on his mother's couch. You can meet a girl, go have sex with her because she sees that you've got that seductive type of energy that'll give her a lot of grandkids. Remember, the girl has a dual mating strategy. She knows that she can have sex with the short-term guy, but get it raised by the long-term guy. But what's really powerful is when you have both. Now, what's crazy is this. When you can actually cultivate that joyful, fun side of yourself, you can always flip around and suddenly say, look, I've got it going in the long term. Girls love that. That's like a fantasy for women, is to tie down a guy and get him to be responsible when he was seductive. But it's very rarely a fantasy to take a nerd and turn him into a badass, because it all just seems very try-hard. So what I want you to do is, in your life, cultivate that self-development ethic of getting things done, of making things happen. But I also want you not just to achieve, but to appreciate, to be in the moment, and to enjoy. Allow your mind to float around and realize that women are very fluid. They do not need a guy to have his shit together to hook up with them. And you can actually just enjoy women, get in the moment with them, experience the beauty with them, fuck around with them, play around with them, be playful, have fun, and have sex all you want. Orgies, threesomes, whatever it is that you want to do. One night stands, dirty stuff, kink stuff, whatever you want to do, you can do that. And then you can also live a great life. Again, don't fall into the trap that the short-term guy does, where he preserves his state at all costs, rationalizes at all costs, avoids anything that takes him out of his flow. But don't fall into the trap where you're constantly in this logical grind and never in a flow, and always waiting for some future time when you're gonna feel good. Because in truth, if you're always waiting for a future time to feel good, when you finally get there, you have a synaptic pathway in your brain, like a superhighway into, in the future, then I'll feel good. And you'll never feel good. Your girlfriend will be hooking up with other dudes that are more fun than you. She'll be miserable. You'll never feel good. It's gonna suck. But on the flip side, you also don't want to get to the point where you can't focus. You'll notice that when you're in a short-term party romp out for a month, you can't focus when you get back because everything feels okay. Literally, like you go out tonight, you hook up in a threesome because you're playful, everything feels okay. Your brain says, dude, you're winning, you're reproducing. The rockets are shooting us up. Just keep doing that. Your brain won't even let you focus. Your brain tricks you. Do you see that? Because it says, hey, he's getting laid from this. Keep going. But on the flip side, if you're pushing that long-term main strategy, you're like, I'm getting ahead, keep going. And your brain locks you in there. In recognizing this, you can see what your mind is doing to you, and you can take control. Cultivate both sides of yourself, the logical and the playful. The point A to point B, and the point A to point fucking infinity.
Yeah, okay.
Why did you get that on your leg?
All right, now I hope you're getting a sense that what we're talking about as far as deep focus, combined with wild hilarity and craziness, is what we always strive to embody in any video from Real Social Dynamics. And the reason why is you might see me doing a seminar and I'm getting onto a deep point and then bam, out of nowhere, I just start going crazy, start doing stupid shit, and you're thinking, why is he doing this? The reason that I've emphasized this for many years is because the single hardest skill that I've ever learned in coaching was not sitting there coaching a guy, breaking it down, and not being crazy and picking up girls. That was actually pretty easy. Both of those were fairly easy, like learn how to get girls laughing, get myself laughing. That I learned many years ago. Learning how to give information, I learned many years ago. But learning how to coach while giving sustained focus on a student, and then bam, seeing a girl right there and switching gears, that took me about a decade. It was just really hard. But funny enough, the technique that I use is just doing it regularly, not having a limiting belief. I feel that what happens to us as guys is we get into a gear where we're very logical, and we think we can't just break out and be playful. But a lot of time, if you just force your physiology, you're just like, how are you doing? Bleh. My name's Owen. My voice is almost gone. It makes no sense, but I'm a fucking pimp. Beep, 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 beep. Right? And you can literally just not have a limiting belief and say, fuck it. If you're in a serious mood, switch your mood. And I try to embody this even when I'm working and I'm very, very focused, and then bam, I just break out and start laughing. But also when I'm laughing, I want to be able to get serious. And this took me years to do. Back in the day, students actually, they always had pretty high expectations, which fair enough. I want to meet those expectations. And they'd be like, okay, coach me. And you know, I'm gaming some girl, I'm laughing, I'm having fun. I'm like, dude, just chill. We're having fun. Stop breaking the fun. They're like, coach me. I'm like, all right, I'll coach you. I coach them, right? And then I'll be coaching them for an hour and they go, you do it. You pick up the girl. I'm like, dude, I'm in such a logical headspace from coaching you. I can't just go pick up the girl right now. Like, try to imagine that, right? You've been coaching somebody, you know, for like an hour straight. And then he asks you to go game a girl when you're in this massively logical state. Well, you've probably felt that yourself when you're in this very logical state going about your life, and then you want to start having fun. I want to get even more outlandish because you want to practice that. So we have to get to the point. One key thing here is getting to the point where.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Come meet my friend. Come here. He's right here. It's okay. This is. He just got in from New York.
Hi.
What's up?
How are you?
Hug.
Good.
I'm such a good friend. Determine where she's going and then walk her there.
I graduated.
Okay. Well, what the fuck is still going here? Why would you even be here?
A large part of it is calming down a lot. Like I'm still a bit jacked up.
Yeah.
Calm.
Yeah.
Gotta find that inner Corey Worthington, right? Remember though that you don't have to be a cartoon character or a clown. A lot of time you can just be kind of chill and fun. It's just really about appreciating the moment. So really the solution here is realizing that you want to appreciate the moment in all your life, all the time. Stay in that pocket of a little bit silly, a little bit playful, and not taking life overly seriously. But then at the same time, don't get so silly that you can't focus at all. Or rather, allow yourself to go to the extreme, and then when you want to bring it back, bring it back. But that there, funny enough, that's the major thing that I've tried to incorporate in every video from RSD, and the major thing that I've tried to incorporate into my teaching in the field. I'm very proud of it. It was just something that was hard to learn. So that being the case, again, like I said, why do we do this? Because in the long term, you want to build through moving forward. You're never satisfied. You're never enough. And you know that someday when you get in the perfect shape and the perfect finances, then you'll get a girl that motivates you. You're unsatisfied. But on the flip side, you're completely satisfied. You're having fun. Living in the moment. Out here in the desert after 3 days out rocking it in the dry air. I guess it's not fun.
Holy shit, I was like, it's Owens.
That was a whole hand hug. My hat though. Don't lose your friend.
What's that?
Don't lose your friend.
You're bossy.
No, friends are the most important things you have.
You're bossy.
I
This
am.
isn't going to work out.
Okay.
There could only be one boss in this relationship. It's not you.
It's not me? Okay, it's you. So twirl
I can't
out
kiss you. I'm too shy.
Twirl out of this relationship. Are you ready? Twirl. I'm gonna be a doctor though, so I can be cocky.
What do they teach you in medical school?
They teach you to not take people seriously.
You know what I would do with you? I'd fill you with 6 babies. You'd never get to be a doctor.
I don't want
And
6.
all your dreams would be shattered.
I want
Shoot,
3.
not enough.
I love that.
Okay, so at this point, I hope that I've satisfied you that you don't need to be a good provider to get a girl, right? Like, women love a good provider. That's a fucking urban legend of epic proportion. Now, I want you to understand that girls go down to places like Cancun, Vegas, spring break, and they are down there to get laid, to party, to hook up with guys, and to have fun. And women essentially put men into 2 different categories. The fun guy, to have orgies with, to make out with each other with. Okay, like literally, they get so ornery around these guys, they start making out with each other. And then they've got the safe guy, the trustworthy guy, the guy that, you know, when they're getting to be around 30, they want to meet up with. Which guy do you want to be, dude? Really, bro? You want to be the kind of guy where, like, you know, she's out, like, hooking up with dudes and having fun all through her prime years, and right when the party's about to end, when the magic school bus that she's on has a bus going through a rainbow. Where everyone goes, hi, Susie, hi. Hi, Susie, hi. Flying through the planets. She goes through the magic school bus. And at the end of the magic school bus, when the ride's over, you're there waiting? No, dude. You want to be out there having fun with girls in their prime, kicking ass, rocking it, having sex, enjoying life. Women like a good provider. Shut the fuck up. I did that. The first thing that I tried was getting my own house at age 21 that I owned, going to a top school in Canada, running a business, having cash. I even got in shape. And funny enough, all those things to be this perfect intellectual provider repelled women and repulsed them and disgusted them. Because flat out, it came across as compensation. Get into the moment, have fun, party with the girls, enjoy the girls, rock the girls, don't judge the girls. Don't buy a bullshit narrative that shows that you failed a societal shit test. It is a shit test, a test of your intelligence given to you by all of society. Don't argue with it. Don't get into some big debate over it. You're gonna lose that debate. The guys that get it, they're like, hey, I'm just having fun. I'm looking for the right girl. I believe in love. That's how they answer. They don't sit there debating it, getting into a pickup artist debate versus like mainstream philosophy of the debate. They just go out, get laid, and enjoy women. I want you to be that guy where women, when they see you, they say, you're awesome. You're amazing. You have great energy. I love you. Call me. I want you to call me. I want to kiss you. No. I grew up in Canada and then I live in Hollywood.
Okay.
And
oh, that's exciting.
do you ever visit?
Really cool. Hollywood?
Yeah.
I mean, when I can, yes. I go to Disneyland.
Are you going to come visit me?
Yes.
Here, text me.
Really?
Yeah.
You are so friendly. I really like it. Is everyone like this in Hollywood? Because
I don't know.
love it.
I love you.
I love you. You're so exciting. I like it.
I'll text you.
You have really good energy.
You do too. What did you guys notice the commonality out of any girl who wanted my number tonight? What's the commonality that you're seeing? What are some things they're saying? And what's their enthusiasm level when I get the number? Typically, what I see is very high. If you watch the video of it, like when I'm like, do you want me to call you? They're like, yes! Yes! Or they go, I love your energy. You have amazing energy. And you'll see this again and again.
No, text me for
Okay.
sure. 100% text me.
Okay.
I love you.
I love you too. That should be happening right off the bat. And that doesn't happen from being a great provider, long-term strategist. Your happiness comes from that. With women, they're girls, they're emotional. Emotions go up from a guy that's chill, fun, playful, in the moment, and seductive. That being the case, don't buy into this fucking bullshit that part of your mind that's really meant to build a great life for you and your future family has anything to do with what she's responding to. She takes it as a great bonus. It comes in handy when she gets to that age where that's what she's looking for. But fundamentally, it is something that you do for yourself. Okay, full abundance. Like, never ever hung up on one. You know what's the best example? That dude yesterday was making out with that hot chick, and he's like, you should make out with her. You remember him? Yeah. He's like, I share. Why is he doing that? Partly to impress me, I guess, but partly because he's in complete abundance. Yeah. He doesn't give a fuck. Yeah. Even a girl who's like making out with him, who's super hot, he could just like throw her away. Well, hello there. How are you doing? Oh, I'm going to put on my tie. What do you think? Oh, a ninja, yes. I'm baby Jesus in the manger. How are you doing today? Pleasure to meet you. In life, people have an adventurous self and a conservative self. These are actually different personality matrices that exist up in a person's head. The adventurous self craves new stimulation, new experience, and nothing is a big deal. The conservative self wants stability and guarantees. Which persona are you stimulating to the surface in that woman? The adventurous self or the conservative self? What kind of personality matrix are you accessing in her? For the guy who's stimulating the adventurous self, sex is not a big deal. You get the no big deal card, you get a pass. For the guy who's stimulating the conservative self, everything's a big deal. It's gonna take a long time. Notice even how I dress. I wear a silly beard. I try to dress with power, with nice clothes, but things that are silly and a little bit outlandish, because I want that girl to know that everything about me, it's sharp, it's strong, it's powerful, it's dominant, but at the same time, nothing's a big deal. Everything's a big joke. Everything's fun. Everything's on the up and up. Everything's new experiences. And that being the case, you get the pass, the player pass, the exception, because you're the guy who stimulates her adventurous self, and for you, nothing is that big of a deal. Do you guys all want to come get tacos?
You're about to.
I'm hungry. Yeah.
Tacos, 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 tacos. Come. So we're back in Old Town Scottsdale. Probably gonna grab breakfast, go to bed, and finish out the video tonight. But a quick last segment on the idea of categories and how girls are not the only ones with categories up in their heads. We all have it, and we're all irrational about it. So let's just say that you're looking at a table, and you get a nice table from IKEA, which you're gonna bring back to your home in Connecticut. Now maybe that table is like $200, $300. But you're gonna really strain yourself to think about it, and think about it very logically, so that you have the perfect table that you're gonna keep forever back at your home in Connecticut. But then all of a sudden, you know, you go down to Las Vegas, and that Vegas table is like hundreds of dollars, and you don't even get to keep the table, you just get it for one night. 10 times the price, one night, and yet, do you negotiate and think about it like you did with the table in Connecticut? Absolutely not, because for an experience, we don't negotiate. Anything that is a commodity, we negotiate, right? So the provider guy, the long-term guy, he's more of a commodity. But the guy who provides an experience, he's just fun. I've seen it many times with many of my wealthy friends where they will negotiate all sorts of different things, down to every last dollar. But then there's other things that they'll have in life where they just no questions asked, boom, they want it. And usually it's some type of unique experience. The same guy who will negotiate over every last penny with everything that he buys might go to an NBA championship game and, oh my God, it's the NBA championship, it's an experience, and he doesn't negotiate. So that being the case, you've got to ask yourself, what kind of guy are you? Are you the kind of guy where the girl's gonna negotiate with you and make you pay a premium? Or are you that fun experience where all the rule book gets thrown out and she just wants to have an amazing time? Ultimately, women worship at the altar of fun. And what that means is that girls will let anything pass by as long as it's just for fun, right? Like I can have a pot belly. It's like, well, he just likes to eat, he likes to have fun. But if it's kind of serious, they criticize you for it. Or you can go to kiss a girl, and if it's just for fun, she's like, kiss him, he's just having fun. But if it's a serious thing, whoa, what are you doing, mister? How dare you? You can say, hey, you guys should kiss. If it's just a joke, it's just for fun, they love it, they'll kiss each other. But if you were to say that in a serious environment, they're like, what the fuck are you doing? Are you some kind of fucking pervert? It's a complete double standard because of the different types of categories that we have in our minds. Women ultimately will put a guy into that category, and you want to be that man for whom they want to make an exception. You want to be that man with whom they just want to have a massive, massive amount of fun. That being the case, moving forward, ask yourself, am I a commodity to women or am I an experience to women? Am I framing myself as someone to negotiate with, or am I framing myself as someone to have an amazing experience with?
Right.
Just say you're an old, bald man.
You're not old or bald.
Look, I'm balding. Look.
No.
And I have man boobs. Touch them.
How old are you? Well, you look very young.
I am. How old are you?
How old do you think I look?
21.
25, but
35?
thank you.
I love your bald head, Daddy.
I love your bald head, Daddy.
Say, I love your man boobs. Touch it.
I love your man boobs.
Say, I want to take you home and squeeze them.
Take you home and squeeze them.
Ooh. She wants to take me home and squeeze you. You fucking, you're like, what did she say? All right, so we're going to wrap up here in Tempe, and I want to leave you some ideas about the importance of being financially successful, healthy, responsible, having integrity, and creating a life that you absolutely love. Now, this is very important because I think for a lot of guys, deep down, we really want to do it for the girls. I think that men are by far the more romantic sex. I think that we want romance. I think that we want to connect with somebody. I think as a man, we kind of feel lonely and like we haven't met our other half. And we have this dream that someday she's going to come around. So on some level as a guy, you're building this beautiful nest for a woman who's going to really appreciate it. And there's sort of a sense of justice or righteousness if a girl would appreciate all that hard labor and work that you did to build an incredible life for her. Now, when you see examples of girls, you know, hooking up with guys and doing double makeouts and orgies and going home with guys they just met and all this kind of thing, and these guys have done nothing to earn it, it can be very, very depressing. It can be very shocking to the system. You can lose sleep over it. It can fuck you up. And believe me, I understand that completely. I went through that myself. So at that point, you have to ask yourself, why are you doing it? And what I want to do here is actually, again, really look at that and give you a more positive outlook on this. And here's really what it is. Financially, having money is about you and your happiness. It's about you traveling the world. It's about you being able to afford to educate yourself. It's about you being able to afford getting high quality food so that you can live a long life and be healthy. Finances are about you and your children. Finances are about being able to provide your children with an incredible life. Finance provide a feeling of safety, a feeling of comfort, the ability to live where you want to live and do what you want to do. Money is not the root of all evil. No money. Oftentimes, poverty, scarcity is the root of illness, lack of education, depressing situations. So go make money. You don't need to just do it for her. You can do it for you and your future family. Likewise, health. Why should you be healthy? Why should you go to the gym? Going to the gym is not about vanity. It's not about living up to an ideal in a magazine. You don't need to. You don't need that to get laid, I promise you. I promise you. You do it because It improves your hormones. It actually balances your hormones. It makes your brain work better. It's proof that there's proof that when you work out, your brain actually gets sharper. Serotonin, dopamine, acetylcholine, GABA, they balance. It makes you more intelligent and aware and mentally stronger when you work out. It increases bone density so that if you fall in the shower when you're an old man, you're not gonna have to get a hip replacement right away or smash your bones apart. It teaches mental discipline. It teaches focus. It teaches a mind-muscle connection. Many people believe that the mind is the body is the mind. I think it was Elliot Hulse, or I might have heard that. And you can see people who have a strong body oftentimes match that up with a strong mind. It's about mobility and jumping around, having fun, being a kid, living a long life and having vitality. Working out means you're gonna be able to have sex longer. You can have more sex, higher quality sex. You're not gonna need to be pumping down penis pills that keep you erect, unless you want to. A lot of my friends do, but you don't have to do that. So there's many, many reasons to stay healthy that are for your happiness. Now, how about your integrity or sticking to your values? Why is that important? Do you need that to get laid? You don't. I promise you. Piece of shit get laid every day. There's dirt bags pulling in fucking girls right now while you're watching this. Are they winning or are they losing out? Some guy who uses drugs to get laid because girls want to go home with a party boy, right? Is he winning or is he losing out? What does integrity mean? I don't like to use words like integrity because I feel like everybody lacks integrity at times. It's kind of judgmental, but it's an ideal that we can aspire to. So integrity is for you. It shows that you're an entity that will live up to your promises. And that means that other people can come and work with you and do things with you. Integrity is everything if you want to accomplish anything great with other people. How about living to your values? That gives your life meaning. It gives you hope. It gives you purpose. And that purpose is like what keeps you moving forward like a fish in water. There is so much more than just getting laid with hot girls and doing it for women. So you don't need to do these things for women. You do these things for you. Your future life partner may leave you for a fucking dirtbag. It could happen. And I'd love to give you a story that would say it will never happen. But I don't know about that. There's guys out there that may get laid more than you by partying harder than you. This is probably a massive change in paradigm because your entire life you've been building this perfect package for a girl who is someday appreciated. You've been creating this perfect nest, or at least moving towards it, so that someday when you meet a girl who appreciates all that you have to offer, you could finally be complete. Well, the funny thing is, in a way of looking at it, it's actually better than what you thought, because the truth is, girls don't need that. Girls are very fluid, they're very pliable. They know how to go with the flow. If a girl's in Vegas and all their friends are having sex, they have sex. If they're in a Christian environment that's very conservative and nobody's having sex, she'll say that she doesn't want to have sex. Whatever it is that's going on, she'll find a way to love it. And what's cool about girls is they'll really believe it. Now as a man, if you are the complete package, you had a relationship, and the entire relationship, all that she would do is go on and on about how you're her perfect partner. Eventually you might break up and she starts dating some scumbag, and it confuses the fuck out of you because you're like, how could she be dating him after everything that she said that she loves about me, right? And it doesn't mean that she wasn't sincere at the time, but what it means was that in the moment, she loved what you brought to the table because she's fluid, and now that her circumstances change, she loves something else. Well, look, here's the cool part about that. As a man, this teaches you to do these great things for your own approval, not for somebody else. Because in many ways, by trying to create this perfect persona, this perfect nest for a woman to appreciate it, you're doing it out of the desire for approval instead of doing it for the most important person who will always be with you along your entire spiritual journey, yourself. So that being the case, of course you want to give. But you want to give without any expectation of anything in return. If you build a great life and you give it for the joy of giving it. But ultimately, you have to realize that girls are fluid, they can like anything, and you have to find your own reasons for living a great life. I'm sorry that the world isn't this perfect, just place where, you know, you do the right thing and everything works out. That's not true. If you look at that historically, it's not true. But at the same time, when you do these things, it gives you a chance to have a better life. So be okay with the fact that women aren't God, that women aren't these perfect rewarders of good deeds. Accept the fact that you yourself don't always pick up the kale juice, the juice kale. Sometimes you pick up the fucking Coca-Cola and you guzzle it down, you like it. And girls are no different than you. They're just doing their best. I know that you can find a middle ground on this. I know that you don't need to execute binary thinking, and that you can find other ways to think about this that work for you. So many guys get depressed when they see this kind of thing. But in my mind, it's really about the middle ground. For my own success with women, what am I looking for? What do I want to do? I want to be that guy who has the long-term mating strategy in the day. Every day I work hard towards my goals. That's for me. That's my fun. That's about my life. I don't need to use women to motivate myself to do the right thing. And then at the same time, at nighttime, I want to go have fun. I want to have a ball. I want to party. I want to go fucking crazy. And the girls love it. And the way that I ultimately think about it, and this is the single most important thing for me, is that women's real role, rather than being this arbiter of living a perfect provider male life and rewarding you for that, instead, I like to think of women as these angels that have been brought here to make us have fun. Because imagine if girls didn't exist. Would you ever dance? Would you have swagger? Would you have flow? Would you have fun? What would you do? You want to know something? I think my life would be really fucking boring. I think that if it weren't for women, what would wind up happening is I'd be like Mr. Spock, logical all the time. Women taught me rhythm, flow, sexuality, softness. I wouldn't be wearing this. I wouldn't have this if it weren't for girls. I'd be wearing probably a garbage bag. Walking around naked. Might be cool actually, who knows, right? The arts come from women. Expression comes from women. Joy. Women stimulate this out of us. So rather than thinking of girls as having some mission to get us to be this perfect provider male and work like a little ant around the clock until we're dead to provide for them some kind of nest that we think will be this perfect package for them, realize that you yourself don't always pick the perfect thing for you. Sometimes you pick the emotional thing. Sometimes you pick the thing that makes no sense just because you want to, and women do it too. Allow it for them. Instead, allow women to offer you the gift of getting you to have more fucking fun, to laugh, to play, to go out, to go crazy, to go wild, and to get in touch with a more primitive side of yourself. That element of you that I call a short-term mating strategy, it is a more primitive, primal aspect of yourself that if it weren't for women, you'd have no motivation to get in touch with. So rather than walking around trying to be this perfect guy saying, I'm gonna be the perfect provider, instead, be a provider for your own reasons, be a good man for your own reasons, and allow women to pull a primal, primitive, fun, exciting, exuberant side out of you that you get to bring out whenever you want. That is how I personally have resolved all this. And for me, I just enjoy living my life, building it up, doing the right thing for myself. If a girl happens to enjoy it, that's great, but ultimately it's for me. And that wild, crazy side is a gift that's brought out of me and stimulated to engage yourself by women. Anyway, I hope that you got some good value out of this. I hope that you will find both sides of yourself and not identify with one or the other, because the ultimate skill set, as I said, is being able to connect the two. Anyway, I had a wonderful evening sharing this with you. I'm off to bed, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.